Hey guys, welcome back to Cooking with Tammy. I hope everybody's doing absolutely amazing. Do I have a treat for you guys today? Yes, I wouldn't be cooking with Tammy if I didn't. Today we are going to be making fried crab cakes. It's nothing better than a nice, delicious, perfectly made crab cake. So without further ado, let's introduce our ingredients and get started. First thing we're going to need, of course, we're going to need some lump crab. If you can't get lump crab, get some regular crab. We'll make it work. Also, we need mayo. We need some Dijon Mustard, Worcestershire Sauce, as well as Old Bay seasoning, an egg of course. And I know you guys are like, what's going on next to the Old Bay? Why am I like literally seeing 3 different Cajun seasonings? Well, I love to play around with spice, and I just want to let you know, just in case you have 1 out of 3 of these Cajun seasonings, right? When you're working with seafood, it's a very delicate thing. So you don't want to over season. If you're using the Louisiana Cajun seasoning blend, that one is a little bit more on the saltier side, so you want to take a lesser amount when it comes to seasoning up your crab cakes. If you're using Slap Your Mama, that seasoning is a little bit more on the spicier side, hence as to why you have the chilies on the label, all right? Or if you're going to be using the Cajun seasoning, which is the Spice Supreme, that one to me has that equal balance. So that's the one that I'm going to be using. We're also going to be needing some breadcrumbs. You could use panko breadcrumbs, or you could do what I'm doing and use some Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. And let's see, what else are we missing? We also have a lemon for that extra kick. With all of that being said, let's get to cooking. First thing we're going to add to our bowl is our mayo. We're going to make a dressing for our crab cakes. And it starts with mayo. Yes, it does. This is half a cup of mayo because we're going to be using 1 pound of crab. Yes, 1 pound of lump crab. We're going to add about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Here we go. We're going to add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. We're going to add a sprinkle of Old Bay seasoning, and of course we're not going to over season. Remember what I said, we're working with seafood. Any extra addition of salt is going to make it salty. We're also going to add a dash of Cajun seasoning. And let's see. We're going to add our egg to the mix. And we're about to swap utensils. For this, we're going to use a whisk. And we're going to whisk it until we have a nice smooth consistency. This right here is perfect. We're going to go in with a fresh squeeze of lemon juice. Give it that extra bite. Half a lemon is perfect because we're working with 1 pound of crab. Get everything off the sides. Go back in there with the whisk once again. And this, I guarantee you, is going to be perfect. I'm not going to taste it because it has eggs in there, but trust me, it's perfect. All right, we're going to add our jumbo lump crab. Make sure when you're adding your crab, strain it off really well because a lot of times it has that excess water that's sitting at the bottom and it's locked in there. And once you pour it in, trust me, the extra water is going to require you to have to use more breadcrumbs. So what we're going to do is we want to have that texture of the lump crab whenever we bite into our crab cakes. So what we're going to do is we're not going to go in there and chop it up. No, we're not. What we're going to do is we're just going to fold our crab meat into the dressing. Just like that. You want to be able to basically see the crab meat within the mixture. And we're going to add our breadcrumbs, of course. And when you're adding your breadcrumbs, you don't want to add too much. You want to kind of like start off with a little bit first before you go in and add too much. Even though we're adding the breadcrumbs is just basically to help us mold our patties. We don't want to really taste breadcrumbs. We want that crab meat to be present on our palates whenever we take a bite. All right, so let's make sure that this is moldable before we add any more. And this is it right here. We don't need to add any more breadcrumbs. Once the mold is holding together, then you're good to go. Now, if your mold is like falling apart, is all loose and stuff, of course, you got to add some more breadcrumbs because you can't rock with this right here. So in this case, everything is good to go. So I'm going to mold it on out. And of course, if you want to do appetizers with this, yeah, appetizers pretty much for the holidays, what you need to do is make little mini crab cakes. And trust me, those would stand out so perfect. First thing we're going to do is after we mold it, we're going to place it onto our lined baking sheet. Just like that. Perfect. I know you guys probably realize my baking sheet has the works going on. Yes, that's because I don't want to create a mess. I want an easy cleanup, and you should as well. What I did was I lined it first with some aluminum foil, and then I placed some wax paper on top. And trust me, that's going to make the cleanup process much easier. Especially if you're doing this around the holidays, you want a quick, easy cleanup. Especially if you're making more than one dish. Trust me. We're going to place Krabby Patty number 4 onto our baking sheet. Who remembers SpongeBob with the Krabby Patty formula? Well, this is it right here. Your girl is bringing you the formula, all right? This crab cake recipe is going to be banging. It's going to be so delicious. I'm going to add this to the top since I got a little bit left over. Don't be afraid to add. And everything does not have to be the same size. It's all good. All right, add it right there. And we are good to go. Our crab cakes are about to go into our preheated oven, and we're going to allow them to roast for about 15 minutes until they're nice and golden brown. Anyway, stick around. I'll show you what to do and how to do it when we come back. Into the oven we go. Yes. While our delicious crab cakes are in the oven, it's time for the sauce queen to make a saucy sauce that's going to complement these crab cakes really good. All right. What we're going to need is we need some mayo as well as garlic powder, some honey, Old Bay seasoning, smoked paprika, Cajun seasoning, as well as relish, and last but not least, a spritz of lemon. What we're gonna do first is, using this spoon right here, we're gonna add some mayo to our ramekin, just like that. Not too much, unless you're making like 1,000 Krabby Patties, you're not gonna need that much mayo. Remember, it's just sauce. Even if you like it saucy, this is gonna be enough, at least. In my opinion, all right? And what we're going to do next is we're going to add some Old Bay, a light sprinkle, no heavy-handedness in this project. All right, and we're going to use some smoked paprika. Give it a little hint of smokiness, not to mention it's going to give it that nice vibrancy and color. Cajun seasoning. We're going to add some relish, garlic powder. Just a tad bit of garlic powder. And we're going to combine everything together until we have a nice smooth consistency. Make sure we have a good consistency going. Now here's the thing, because we're using powders, meaning garlic powder, Old Bay seasoning, smoked paprika, Cajun seasoning, you don't want that powdery taste in your sauce. So you want to get in there, mix it in really, really good. Allow those powders to break down to the point where you can't taste it. Also, what I'm going to do to turn this sauce up just a bit, of course, I'm going to add some honey. And I'm adding about, let's see here, this is about half a tablespoon. And that's all that's going to be needed for this particular recipe. Stir it up once again. And last but not least, we're going to add our spritz of lemon juice. That's it. That's all we need. About 3 drops. And this is the reserved lemon that we use when we were making our crab dressing. If you still have it on hand, that's the lemon you should use. You don't have to go and get another lemon just to squeeze a little bit into the sauce. Not necessary. Give it a good mix once again. Make sure everything is combined. And I don't even have to taste it. I know this sauce is going to be everything. In the meanwhile, let's check on our crab cakes. We're back and our crab cakes are out of the oven. And let me give you a moment to take it all in. These crab cakes are not just beautiful, but they're absolutely gorgeous. Absolute perfection on a plate. As you can see, we went ahead, added some parsley for garnish. Not to mention our lemon wedges, because you have to have that lemon with your seafood. And we have our perfect sauce. We also have our sauce, which is going to bring some extra personality to our crab cakes and bring out that extra flavor. And of course, I know you guys are like, Tammy, I wonder what it looks like inside. Show us what it looks like inside. No fuss, no fret. I'm going to show you exactly what these crab cakes look like once you open it or once you cut into it. We're going to take our delicious sauce and we're going to add some of that sauce to the top. Just like that. And for the moment of truth. Look at how tender and flaky. Nice and moist. Dip it in that sauce. And it's time to pig out. Absolutely delicious. Perfect. And of course, how could I get off camera without adding a spritz of lemon to our delicious crab cake? Gotta take a bite for you too, right? Yes, I do. Check out all of those, if it would stay on a fork. Check out all of those delicious crab pieces within. You can see it, right? I know you can. Want to take a bite? Take a bite. Absolutely delicious. OMG. Anyway, guys, definitely give this recipe a try. Let me tell you, you're not going to be disappointed. So delicious. I just want to like take the whole thing and just stuff it in my mouth. Guess what? I'm being real. Anyway, guys, definitely give this recipe a try. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of it. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, don't forget to share these videos because what? Sharing is caring. And I will catch you guys in another video. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.